And hello and welcome to Sklianos Field. We're on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you've joined us here for this non-league matchup featuring the Inland Valley Buccaneers taking on, of course, Top Speed. This will be a very, very thrilling game. It should be for the Buccaneers as they are coming off a two-game sweep of the Lancaster Rounders. Meanwhile, Top Speed, they did their own celebrating this past week after beating the Palm Springs Power twice. They swept 2 games with the Palm Springs Power yesterday and Friday. And here they are on their way back to the Bay Area, making a stop along the way at Cal Poly Pomona to take on the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers will then play tomorrow against the Pirates in a league game and Tuesday and another non-league matchup against the Long Beach Legends. So that is kind of how their schedule looks like for the next few days. Then they'll have a little bit of a break for the 4th of July holiday, as we are just about getting set for opening pitch at Cal Poly Pomona. It's the Buccaneers in their customary white cutoff shirts, white pants, and red undershirts. Meanwhile, Top Speed Baseball is rocking yellow shirts and blue lettering, blue caps, and white pants. Here is the starting lineup for Top Speed. It'll be Ricky Rodriguez at short, Matt Haskins at center field batting second, Rob Smith at third batting third. The cleanup hitter is Steven Knudsen. The number 5 hitter is the designated hitter, Scott Mitchell. Batting 6th, Ryan Dean. Batting 7th is Tyler Davis. Batting 8th, Josh Egan. And last but not least, the catcher Aiello is batting 9th. Meanwhile, here is how the defensive alignment looks for the Bucs. It'll be Richie Chavez in left, and Busi Lashuayo in center, Anthony Rabito in right, Kevin Riley at third, Anthony Seminaris at short, Rudy Casares at second, Bryce Brooks at first, and Miles Ryan behind home plate. Bucs take the field here for the first time on a Sunday. An early start, 11 a.m. start, although we are falling behind by a few minutes because it's already 11:03. So opening pitch going to start maybe about 5 minutes late at 11:05. The game was originally scheduled for 12 o'clock but got moved up an hour at the request of Top Speed. Actually, over the 4th of July weekend, a new game has got added for the Bucs schedule, and they're going to play again at 11 a.m. next Sunday. So that is another game that the Buccaneers have picked up, kind of like a tune-up game, because as we mentioned, they're going to be off for 5 days in between Tuesday and Sunday for the 4th of July holiday. So they kind of wanted to get that tune-up game in there for Sunday before they go out to Palm Springs on Tuesday and Wednesday and have a big series with the Power. Starting pitcher for the Inland Valley Bucs is Jason De La Pena. Very, very good left-handed pitcher for the Buccaneers, 5'11", 175 from Cal State San Bernardino, where he will be a junior next season. So far this season, De La Pena has tossed 14 2/3 innings and has 15 strikeouts, a 3.68 ERA. He's been a very good pitcher. We just mentioned the stats, and you heard it. He has more than 1 strikeout per inning. Also, we mentioned the 3.68 ERA, which is really good in the SCCBL and playing some of the competition that the Bucs play, like playing the Pirates a lot in the Power. He's really been a tough luck loser a few times this season. Hoping to, I guess, maybe get off the schneid, so to speak, in the sense that he hasn't had a win yet. So would love nothing more than to get a win against a team who's coming off 2 wins of their own against the Palm Springs Power. Top Speed Baseball 21-3 coming into this game. Meanwhile, the Bucs are 5-14. Bucs coming off a doubleheader sweep. They won the first game 8-4 yesterday against the Rounders, and the second game 1-0. And it was Nathaniel Acosta who tossed 5 1/3 in that second game and shut down the Rounders, and Trask Slam shut the door and notched the save. So that's how they won that second game. The first game, offensive fireworks were the norm. In the first inning, they exploded for 4 runs. Here's the pitch, and it's in there. So first pitch is there, and it's strike 1, and we are underway at Cal Poly Pomona. Scalino's Field, of course, the home of 3 national championship Cal Poly Pomona teams, named so after the legendary head coach Frank Scalinos, who was the coach of all 3 of those teams. This pitch misses outside, and it's ball 1. 1-1 the count to Ricky Rodriguez, the shortstop. Late kick, and here's the pitch, and this one misses low for ball 2. 2-1 the count. So with top speed, it's definitely kind of a business vacation almost. You're going on a business trip to play some big games in Southern California, but you also want to have a little bit of fun, kind of take in some of the sights and just see Southern California, as this one paints the black on the outside corner, and it's 2-2. But we understand that after sweeping the 2 games of the doubleheader, or actually it wasn't a doubleheader, it was just 2 games, after sweeping both games against the Power, top speed may have partied a little bit too much, and 6 of their players are suspended for today. This one swung on and fouled out of play down the right field line, so we'll do it again, 2-2. And this is the 6th pitch to come to Jason De La Pena, or for Jason De La Pena, excuse me. He's facing Ricky Rodriguez, the right-handed hitter. So lefty versus righty matchup for the first batter of the game. This one is a 58-footer in the dirt, nowhere near the zone, and it's 3-2. And this is what you want out of a leadoff hitter if you're top speed. Going 7 pitches deep already, kind of letting his entire dugout see all the pitches that Jason has to offer. It's one of the major things that you do as a leadoff hitter. You extend counts and see a lot of pitches. Let's see what happens right here. First payoff pitch of the day, full count. De La Pena working on the windup, fires, misses outside for ball 4. So a very, very good at-bat right there for Ricky Rodriguez, who draws a leadoff walk. And that'll be the first base runner of the game for top speed here in the top of the first inning. Still no score. That was just the first hitter if you're just joining us. Here comes Matt Haskins, the center fielder. Jason De La Pena, 5'11", 175. Southpaw checks the runner over at first base, a very small lead, and fires home. A fastball in the outside corner called strike 1, and it's 0-1. De La Pena is a criminal justice major at Cal State San Bernardino. Before going to Cal State San Bernardino, put up really good numbers at Citrus College. And we talk about a lot of these guys either are still playing for Citrus or played for Citrus in the past. Breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1, 1-1 the count. Good job by Ryan to block that ball and to make sure that the runner at first didn't advance 90 feet in the scoring position. Well, as we were mentioning at Citrus College, he was an honorable mention all-conference performer his sophomore year. Struck out 24 and 22 and 2/3 innings pitched, had 4 saves, and most importantly, a 0.79 ERA. This one is bounced over to the shortstop, Seminaris. Seminaris to second baseman Casares, and they try to turn 2 but can't. But they do get the leadoff runner at second base, so Haskins reaches on the fielder's choice. 6-4. And that is the first out here in the top of the first inning. And here comes Rob Smith, the third baseman, for top speed. De La Pena's hometown is Los Angeles. Went to Los Altos High School, where he was a first-team All-Hacienda League performer. First pitch from him misses low for ball 1 to Rob Smith. Well, for the Buccaneers, obviously you win 2 in a row. You're hoping for momentum to continue, maybe to run that up to 3. We're already going to have a mound visit from pitching coach Kevin Smith here in the first inning. I'm not quite sure exactly why we're having this visit so early, although I guess De La Pena has labored a little bit in the first inning, Just the first batter he faced took him 8 pitches deep and drew a walk. And Smith maybe just trying to settle him down a little bit. For a second there, I almost thought that it was Art Salazar who was going to warm up as I saw him walking around in the dugout, but he looked like he was heading over towards the bullpen, but now he's coming back. So I don't think it would be a quick hook like that by any means for Jason De La Peña, who we mentioned has been very good, and specifically with so many games being played over the past few days and a couple more to come, you don't really figure to see, unless he really struggles, De La Peña get a hook before maybe even 5 or 6 innings. Late kick, and here's the pitch, and this one misses inside for a ball. You know, you talk about it so often, and you talk about lefties, and you always say crafty lefty, and I think De La Peña is a guy that sort of fits that billing. Fits the billing because he throws sliders and lots of sort of off-speed pitches, tries to get the hitter fishing. This one misses just being fair down the right field line, actually down the first baseline. Bryce Brooks was making a diving attempt at it, but as we mentioned, just foul. So very, very close. If that was fair, that could have been a double. But of course, it's a game of inches. And the runner's off with the pitch. Fastball called a strike at the plate, and he steals second base safely. So there's now a runner in scoring position as Haskins advances 90 feet up to second base. This is a 2-strike count right here for Rob Smith, so De La Peña will look to focus on the hitter and try to just get him out here with the runner on second, and 1 out in the top of the first inning. Shakes his head no, and disapproval of the catcher Ryan's sign. Now checks the runner at second, no one holding on. Checks back at second, and now finally fires home. Swung on and fouled back at the screen. So there remains 2 strikes in this count. Another long at-bat coming for De La Peña. Well, yesterday, getting to take some pictures and video in the first game of the doubleheader, I got to sit in the dugout with the Bucs, and it was definitely a joy and pleasure to be in the dugout with them and just kind of see behind-the-scenes look at Inland Valley Buccaneer baseball. Swung off the fist. It's a fly ball over to De La Peña, who calls for it and makes the catch. Springing off that mound as quick as a cat and making the catch right near the first base line. And that's the second out here in the inning. And up comes the cleanup hitter, Steven Knutson, the first baseman for Top Speed, a large right-handed hitter in the yellow and blue. Kevin Bowler yelling out some instructions. Knock it down infield if it's obvious, if it's out of your reach. Here is the first pitch. Swung on a high towering fly ball to deep left field. Chavez going back, and all he can do is look as this one is out of here. Home run by Knudsen, and it's 2-0 Top Speed. And that one was just an absolute mammoth home run out to left field. Pretty much a no-doubter with the wood bat, a majestic fly by Steven Knudsen as he jogs home into home plate. And the entire Top Speed dugout is out there to congratulate him on his 2-run homer. So 2-0 the score here in the top of the first inning. I mentioned this is a very, very good team, 21-3, coming off 2 consecutive wins against the Power. And they're showing their power right there in the form of a home run. At first, off the bat, I definitely thought it was going to be gone, but the way Richie Chavez was running, he was running really hard and sprinting really hard out there. This one swung and fell back, and it's 1-1 to Scott Mitchell, the designated hitter, a left-handed hitter. And he was sprinting, but then he stopped about maybe 20 feet away from the fence, and that's when I said all he can do is look, because that's all he did do at that point. 2-1 the count, as this one misses low and away for ball 2. Well, we mentioned you don't see too many home runs hit out of Scalino's field. That's only the second one we've seen in a Buccaneers or Pirate game. The other one was hit by Nolan Henley of the Pirates. Swung on and missed, and it's strike 2, so it's 2-2 here to Scott Mitchell. It was actually Nathaniel Acosta of the Buccaneers who gave up that home run to Nolan Henley. Here's the 2-2 offering from De La Pena. Bounced foul down the first base line. This is something that maybe if you're the Buccaneers, you take a little bit of note of. The fact that a lot of these hitters, I should say, are seeing a lot of pitches and extending De La Pena. And when you have to labor more, you're more prone to making a few mistakes, and maybe that's exactly what happened on that home run ball. This is another towering fly ball, and it's slicing down the first base line foul. So we'll do it yet again, another 2-2 to come. 7th pitch of the at-bat. So we've seen a bunch of 7, 8 pitch at-bats already, and it's still just the first inning. De La Pena shaking off Ryan Saenz. He's done that a lot here in the first inning. Checks his swing, and yes, he did go, says the home plate umpire. And that'll be a strikeout, so that'll be the final out here of the first inning. But the damage was done on a mammoth home run out of left field by Steven Knutson. And Top Speed leads 2-0 at the end of 1/2 inning. And welcome back to the bottom of the first inning. We go 2-0 the score. Top Speed already getting a home run back in the first inning by Steven Knutson, as Matt Haskins scored as well on that play. And so it's 2-0 before the Bucs even take their first at-bat. And here comes Miles Ryan, the leadoff hitter. Then it'll be Lash Wyo batting second, Riley third, Juarez in the cleanup spot, Rapito batting fifth, Brooks sixth, Smith seventh, Casares eighth, Chavez ninth, and Seminaris is batting 10th. Here's the pitch. Fastball called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Miles Ryan was showing bunt and then took it away. Which was a little bit interesting because if you wanted to try to bunt for a hit, that actually looked like a good pitch to do it. It was a fastball kind of low, so you think you could definitely get it down. Both corner infielders playing on the grass, though. And this one misses low and away for ball 1, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike here for Miles Ryan, and really, we talked about it. Maybe you can take a page out of Top Speed's book and try to extend the count and see a lot of pitches and give the guys on the bench a better idea of what this pitcher has to offer. Checks his swing, and it's called a strike anyways. 1-2 the count here for Joey Lucchese from Top Speed. He is a left-handed pitcher. Miles Ryan, 5'11", 170 from Citrus College. Here's the 1-2. Misses high and away, and it's 2-2. As we mentioned, Lash Wyo is on deck. Interesting to see him in the number 2 spot. Normally he's a leadoff type of hitter, or if not a leadoff hitter, you see him kind of in the 9 spot. A big leg kick, and here's the pitch. Swung on a fly ball in foul territory, but the first baseman will be able to make the play. That is Knutson with the home run out to left field in the top half of the inning. So 1 is retired here in the bottom of the first inning as Mbusi Lash Wyo steps up for his first at-bat of the day, 5'10", 170. Left-handed hitter from Cal State San Bernardino. Redshirted this past season, so will still be a freshman next year, a redshirt freshman at that. Here's the pitch, and it misses low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Lash Wyo is a major in computer science, something that you don't see too often on the baseball field. Here's the pitch, high and in, ball 2, 2-0 the count. I say that because we talk about a lot of the guys that really are, kinesiology type majors or business administration majors, professions that, you might end up still in the game of baseball because they love staying in baseball. Obviously, computer science, an entirely different field of work as this one misses low for a ball. Lash Wyo went to Woodbridge High School in Orange County. Here's the pitch. And that one misses low, so 5-pitch walk drawn by Latchwio. And that is the first man on board here for the Buccaneers as Kevin Riley steps up to the plate. Kevin Riley hitting .360 this season. He has been the leader for the Buccaneers for sure. 6'1", 185-pound right-handed hitter from Chaffee College. He'll be a sophomore there next year. On deck is Johnny Juarez, the catcher. As this one misses low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. I say the catcher, but he's actually the extra hitter in this game, so he must have been loosening somebody up in the bullpen in between innings. Catcher, of course, is Miles Ryan for this game. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time. There's a little bit of a deceptive move, actually, because it looked like maybe he was going to the plate. And Latchwio, he wasn't that far off the bag considering the type of leads he's normally getting. And it was almost number 12 getting picked off over there at first base. Latchwio stole 2 bases yesterday. This one swung and lifted into center field for a line drive base hit. And Kevin Riley has been raking all summer long as he has a little smile on his face over at first base and gets congrats from the first base coach over there, Nathaniel Acosta. Nathaniel Acosta, being in the dugout yesterday, got to see him kind of in action, and he's almost like a player coach, really. I mean, you see him when he's not playing, you see him as the first base coach, and then when his team's in the field, he is with the pitching coach, Kevin Smith, and he's giving him all the updates on previous pitches to hitters that they had. So, like, if you went curveball, fastball, curveball, he'll tell them what happened the last at-bat, and then he'll also tell the pitching coach, Kevin Smith, how the hitter did. So very involved in the game, even when he's not in, is Nathaniel Acosta. First pitch misses high for ball 1 to Johnny Juarez, who had another big day yesterday. Was 2 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader. 2 doubles, 1 RBI, and 1 run scored. Cheesy checks the runner at second and now fires home. The 1-0 slider in there on the inside corner for strike 1. 1-1 the count to Johnny Juarez. Juarez 5'11", 190. Plays for Mount San Antonio College, just down the street, maybe about a mile away from here. Hometown is Glendora and went to Glendora High School. Swings at this one and foul, tips it, and it's 1-2. Well, for the Buccaneers, they want to start rolling here after winning 2 in a row and hoping to extend that to 3. And then have a big game tomorrow against the Pirates here at 5 o'clock. Game that will be broadcast live on our air on inlandvalleybaseball.com. Here's the pitch. Misses low. So very good plate discipline shown by the Buccaneers so far in this game as they continue to extend counts and see a lot of pitches. This is what we said they needed to do a little bit more of. It's amazing the difference this team has had since Tuesday. Tuesday might have been the low point of the season for the Buccaneers as this slider misses inside for a ball. And it's a full count. Because that was against the Rounders and they lost 3-1. Showed a little bit of life in the 9th inning, getting that 1 run in the 9th and having a runner in scoring position, but still fell short there. Then played much better against the Pirates. As this one swung and lifted into right center field. Line drive gets down for a base hit. Latchwio is being waved home. The throw is going to come in way offline, and in comes Latchwio to score. And now both runners will advance an extra base on the error by the right fielder. So it's 2-1, and the Bucs feel like they are really rolling here, at least offensively. Over the past couple of days, they certainly have, and it's 2-1 on the RBI single by Johnny Juarez. So we were just talking about how Juarez had an RBI double yesterday and also scored a run. He'd love nothing more than to equal that performance here in the first inning. He is in scoring position here. Already has the RBI. Can he score a run? Well, we'll find out as Anthony Rabito steps up to the plate. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning in what has been a very long first inning. Pitch in the dirt. Nice job blocking that pitch by Aiello, the catcher. If that one gets by him, it's 2-2. It's a tied game. 1-0 the count, and time is called for by the coach for top speed. So we've seen a pitching visit for both sides already in just the first inning. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers will go over to Kevin Bowler down that third base line. Anthony Rubito, the hitter, as well as the two base runners. Kevin Riley and Johnny Juarez are over there for a little meeting, maybe getting a little bit of extra instruction of exactly what they want to happen here. This is a good-looking lineup for the Buccaneers, obviously. Scoring one run already and with runners in second and third. And Anthony Rubito, guy who has a lot of pop behind his bat at the plate right now. And then you have Bryce Brooks. So really a nice-looking lineup here for the Buccaneers. Anthony Rubito is 6'0", 195, right-handed hitter. Plays for Orange Coast College. And the bench starting to get vocal here. Swings at this one and fouls it right back at the bench down the first base line. And it's 1-1. Rubito's hometown is Chino Hills. Went to Aiello High School. As a senior there, hit .386 and had a .613 slugging percentage. So we were talking about the pop behind his bat. He certainly demonstrated it at the high school level his senior year. Here's the pitch. The 1-1 swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. Would you believe he actually had more RBIs than hits that year, too? He had 37 RBI to 34 hits, and this is in 27 games. So more than one RBI a game, and more than one hit a game for that matter as well, and also had 4 home runs. He's going to have to protect the plate here, though. Down 1-2 on the count. Here's the pitch. Swan and bounce to the left side, and the play is going to be made by the shortstop deep in the hole, but a run is scored as Kevin Riley crosses home plate, and it's 2-2, so that'll be an RBI ground out for Anthony Rubito. And just like that, it's all tied up again. At first glance, I thought maybe it had a chance to get through the hole, but it wasn't hit hard enough. And the shortstop out there, Rodriguez, showing some good range and also some good arm strength because, as I mentioned, he ranged to his right and was pretty deep in the hole while throwing that one out. Here comes Bryce Brooks for his first at-bat. Takes on the outside corner for called strike one, and it's 0-1 to Bryce Brooks. Brooks heading to Avila University in the Midwest for his junior year. Before that, Bryce Brooks playing at Rio Hondo Community College. And this one comes inside, and it's called strike two. So you go out, and then you come in, get 2 called strikes, and now you might have Bryce Brooks a little bit on his heels, kind of guessing. Let's see what happens here. Maybe Bryce Brooks gets it right. Swings at this one and fouls it back, and it remains 0-2. Brooks is 6'3", 180. Really working on his bat this season. The glove is certainly one of the better ones you'll see out in the SCCBL, and that was proven this past year at the junior collegiate level. Bounces this one right back to the pitcher's comebacker, and it'll be an easy play for Lucchese over to first base, and so that'll retire Brooks. But just to kind of finish that story, he did have a gold glove at the junior collegiate level this past season, and that'll do it for the first inning, and it was a long first inning at that. Couple runs scored by each team, so it's 2-2 at the end of one between the Buccaneers and Top Speed. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 2 we go, and 2-2 is the score as Jason De La Pena remains on the mound for the Buccaneers. First pitch is inside for ball 1 to Ryan Dean, the left fielder for Top Speed. Ryan Dean is 6'3", 200 from Fresno City College. Called strike, and it's 1-1 to Dean. We had fireworks in the first inning. 2 runs scored by each team. This one misses outside, and it's 2-1. Really, it was Steven Knudsen who was the biggest story so far, hitting a majestic fly out of left field, and it was a 2-run home run. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's swung on and fouled out of play down the third base line. It'll be 2-2. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, In the first inning, Johnny Juarez had an RBI single to right center, and Anthony Rabito had an RBI ground out to the shortstop. So that's where we're at right now. Another foul ball behind home plate. 2-2 the score. Bucs and Top Speed doing battle on a Sunday morning and now maybe late morning, afternoon. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So down goes Dean, and that is the second consecutive strikeout for Jason De La Pena. We also saw both coaches come out for a mound visit in the first inning, which we really don't see too often here at Cal Poly Pomona. Both the Buccaneers and Pirates are really pitching teams, pitching heavy teams with a lot of good arms. So it's very rare to see a mound visit in the first inning. This one comes high and away for ball 1, and the mound visit was actually before the home run. So that pitch misses high and away to Tyler Davis, 6'0", 185 pounds, from Chabot College. Swings at this one and fouls it straight back at the screen. Probably about a foot away from my head. Here's the pitch, and this one misses high. Oh, it's called a strike. And so that'll be the second strike, and it's 1-2 here to Tyler Davis. Working out of the windup, here is the pitch from De La Pena. Swung and foul back. And we mentioned before, obviously, with the wood right behind home plate, it goes about 3 feet high. If you heard that loud bang, that's exactly what it was right there. Fence is behind the wood. Goes higher than that 3 feet range. Still with a 2-strike pitch here for De La Pena. This one is bounced down the third base line foul. And that's something that you swing at an outside pitch and you try to pull it. That's normally what you do. You turn over on the ball and you hit a grounder over towards the third baseman or shortstop. This time it was foul, though. Got to try to push it the other way in the opposite field if you're going to swing at the outside pitch. And another epic at-bat ensuing here for Top Speed, who continues to just extend counts to the max against Jason De La Pena. Lay kick, and here's the pitch. Swan, and another foul ball. This one was off the protective gear and mask of Johnny Juarez. So Juarez now is the catcher. So maybe Miles Ryan and Juarez are kind of doing a free substitution. We mentioned Juarez was listed as the extra hitter, and Ryan was listed as the catcher. Ryan definitely started in the first inning, and now here's Juarez in the second inning behind home plate. There's already been a number of 7 to 8 pitch at-bats. This one's even longer. This is a ground ball roller over to Kevin Riley, and Riley bobbles it over at third base. That'll be an error on the third baseman. It's one of those things where you're thinking about the throw before you make the catch, and to make the throw, you have to catch it first. And that kind of ate up Riley. That's something that's been plaguing Riley. That's pretty much the only part of the game that he's really been struggling with this summer. He has made a number of errors for the Buccaneers this season. Here's Josh Egan, the right fielder. Number 8 in the lineup is where we are at for Top Speed. Runner goes. Pitch misses low and away for ball 1, and that is another stolen base for Top Speed. So they already have 2 stolen bags in the second inning. Tyler Davis is 6'0", 185, and that is the guy who just stole the base. Josh Egan at the plate, meanwhile, 6'1", 185. So similar body frames for the 2 men on base, or for the man on base and the man at the plate right now. Lefty on lefty action. De La Pena checking the runner at second. Fires home. Swung on and missed for a strike. Josh Egan is from Castro Valley and goes to Olone College. See a lot of guys from the Northern California area, of course, because his team is based up there in the Bay Area. De La Pena working on a stretch, taking his time right here, and checking second base a number of times. 3 times swung on and missed at that one by Egan, and that is strike 2. So De La Pena going about his business here, hoping to potentially notch another strikeout. He already has a couple. Did give up the home run, but his team is still in the game as they got 2 back in the bottom of the first inning. Slider misses low and away for ball 2, and it's 2-2. On deck is the catcher, Aiello. Mike Aiello from Racine, Wisconsin. Here's the 2-2 offering. Swung and missed. Strike 3. So that'll be the 3rd strikeout now for De La Pena. And here comes Aiello, the catcher, who will remove his leg gear and step on up to the plate. Aiello is 6'0", 180. Goes to Wisconsin, Milwaukee. That's a D1 program. If he can get a hit here, you have the top of the lineup coming back up for top speed. So this is a very important out to get if you're the Bucs and Jason De La Pena. First pitch is a slider that misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Top of the lineup is Rodriguez, Haskins, and Smith for top speed. Here's the 1-0. Inside, called a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, the Buccaneers, we were kind of talking about it a little bit in previous inning, but Tuesday was a tough game for the Buccaneers because if for no other reason, it seemed like they lacked sort of the energy, maybe a little bit of the effort. But ever since then, it's been a whole different team. On Thursday, they played a very, very tight game against the Pirates, very close. And then on Saturday, a doubleheader sweep. And here today on Sunday, you give up 2 runs, you fall behind in a hole, and you get those 2 runs back in the bottom half of the first. So a lot of resiliency being shown by the Buccaneers as this one misses low for ball. It was a fastball from Jason De La Pena. 2-1 the count. Still only the top of the second inning, and we have 2 down. The last 3 outs actually that were recorded all were strikeouts by the left-handed pitcher Jason De La Pena. De La Pena deals, and this one is grounded through the left side hole, and now rounding third and coming home to score is Tyler Davis, and that'll be an RBI single for Mike Aiello, the catcher. So they tie it up temporarily and lose the lead here in the second inning on that RBI single. And now here comes the top of the lineup and Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez walked in his first plate appearance today for top speed. He is 6'0", 210, goes to Sterling College. It's an NAIA program that we've seen a few guys in the SCCBL play for as well. Pickoff throw over to first, not in time by De La Pena. It's interesting, a lot of left-handers, when they make the pickoff throws, they usually put their leg up and throw it over to first, as this one is hacked on and fouled down the right field line on 1 the count. De La Pena did, he basically just stepped off with his left foot and tried throwing it basically sidearm quickly over to the first baseman, Bryce Brooks. And speaking of Bryce Brooks, this is a guy that plays all over the place. This one misses inside for ball 1, 1-1 the count. I mean, we've seen him play first base, shortstop, third base, right field. Those are just off the top of my head. I'm not sure if he ended up ever playing at left or center or maybe second, but that is 4 positions I know for a fact that he played at. Runners off, and they have him picked off. The throw from Bryce Brooks is down over to second base, and Rudy Casares makes the tag. So top speed trying to basically run wild on the Buccaneers, and the Bucs finally pick him off and record the out there of Mike Aiello, the catcher. And when you see the catcher trying to steal, I'd say that's not necessarily a good thing if you're a Bucs fan or supporter, because they obviously think that they can steal a base any time they want to. But not so fast. Obviously, they got picked off there. But once again, Top Speed takes the lead heading in the bottom of the second inning. The score is now 3-2. They lead. And you're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of two we go. Dave Silberi on the play-by-play. So glad you joined us on InlandValleyBaseball.com for this non-league matchup featuring the Buccaneers and Top Speed Baseball. The score 3-2. As we mentioned, bottom of the second inning. So a lot of scoring already just in the second inning, as this one misses low for ball one. 1-0 the count to Michael Smith, the designated hitter. Michael Smith from Memorial High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He'll be a senior there next year. Swings at this pitch and lifts it very high in the infield. It's called for by the third baseman, Smith, and that'll retire Smith. So Smith gets Smith there, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Casares comes to the plate. Rudy Casares, the second baseman. 5'10", 185 from Cal State San Bernardino. Much like Mbusi-Hashwayo, will be a redshirt freshman there next season. Takes strike one on the outside corner. It's 0-1, and he actually nodded his head like maybe, yes, that was a good pitch. His major is kinesiology. Here's the pitch, and it comes inside and high for ball one. 1-1 the count. Actually, when we're talking about Mbusi and his major, computer science, we mentioned that a lot of guys like to go into kinesiology, and Casares is, I guess, the example of that. The reason that is because, you know, a lot of these guys are so physically fit, and they really love athletics, and they love baseball, and they just want to stay in the game any way they possibly can, even after their baseball days are over. This one's a bouncer in the dirt, and it's 2-1. Lay kick, and here's the 2-1 offering. Swan to the left side, a slow roller over towards the third baseman, Smith, who fires across the diamond for the second out of the inning. So Smith with a putout and an assist here in the second, as the first two batters have been retired by Joey Lucchese for Top Speed. Here comes Richie Chavez, the left fielder. Chavez had an RBI base hit in game one of the doubleheader yesterday. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch. Paints the black of the outside corner, called strike one. Richie Chavez is 5'10", 165 from Citrus College, where he will be a sophomore next season. Swings at this one and bounces it foul down the first base line, and it's 0-2. On deck is Anthony Seminaris, and then we go back to the top of the lineup. Bucs batting 10 in a non-league game, have an extra hitter. We see that very often for both the Bucs and Pirates, just a way to get another guy involved in the game. This one swung on a line drive grounder over towards the first baseman, Knudsen, who has it under control and steps on the bag for the 3 unassisted putout. So the side is retired in order here in the bottom of the second inning, and it remains 3-2, Top Speed over the Bucs. We'll head to the top of the third inning. 3-2 the score, Top Speed on top of the Buccaneers, as the top of the lineup is due up here for Top Speed in this third inning. It'll be Ricky Rodriguez, Matt Haskins, and Rob Smith. And should they get to the cleanup hitter, that is the man who knocked it out of the park. Only the second home run we've seen hit here all season long. First pitch is high and away for ball one, so it's 1-0 here to Ricky Rodriguez Jr., 6'0", 210. Plays for Sterling College, right-handed hitter, going against the southpaw, Jason De La Pena. Swings at this one and cracks it down the left field line, and that's going to get all the way back to the fence. That'll be a surefire stand-up double for Ricky Rodriguez. And so the leadoff man is on board here for Top Speed, and up comes Matt Haskins. Haskins is 0 for 1, but reached on a fielder's choice. Well, he really saw that pitch well and just crushed it down the left field line. Did number 19, Rodriguez. So Rodriguez reaching base both times. His previous plate appearance, he actually walked, and this time he doubles to left field. This one is low for ball one. 1-0 the count to Matt Haskins. Haskins is 5'11", 215. He's from Alabama, the University of Montevallo. Steps off the mound, does De La Pena. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled out of play down the first base line. Another very warm day at Cal Poly Pomona. Another day with pretty much absolutely no wind to speak of. If you look at the trees out in the outfield, they are just stiff, not moving at all. Of course, it is a very picturesque setting for baseball. Scalinos Field is. Here's a pitch from De La Pena. Swung and cracked to right field at Rabito, and that's going to get over Rabito's head and go all the way to the wall. And heading into second with a double, and now coming home to score is Ricky Rodriguez as Matt Haskins doubles in Rodriguez, and it's 4-2. So Top Speed scoring at least one run in every single inning so far. In the third inning here, they got 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 here in the third, but there are still no outs in this third inning as the number 3 hitter Rob Smith steps up to the plate. He takes low for ball one, and it's 1-0. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to the pitcher. It's kind of hit off the hands, and it flared up about halfway in between first base and home plate. Jason De La Pena showing a lot of speed running off the mound and making that grab. He was the only guy that could get there. Here's the 1-0. This is inside for ball two. 2-0 the count. Rob Smith is 5'11", 175. Right-handed hitter. It's an important pitch for De La Pena on a 2-0 count. It's normally a fastball pitch. And that's what it was right there. But he goes on the outside corner, and it's called a strike, and it's 2-1. For Top Speed, they do have a runner still in scoring position. That was Haskins, who had the RBI double and no outs. So in theory, you could basically score him without even getting a hit if you had a sacrifice or even a ground out to the right side and then a sac fly. But that's not what they want here. This is swung and fouled down the third base line by Smith. And I guess he must have broken his bat there because he threw it. And we'll get a new stick. He's going from light to dark here, as his previous bat was beige and this one is now black. De La Pena working on a 2-strike count here. Shakes off the catcher Ryan Saenz. So as we mentioned, it looks like Ryan and Juarez will have free substitutions behind home plate for the duration of the game. Comes inside, and this one is swung and driven through the right side hole past the outstretched glove of Michael Smith for a base hit. The runner will get up to third base but not score. So there's now runners on the corners. And still no outs here in the third inning. 4-2 the score. Top Speed on top. Now you have the big cleanup hitter who jacked one out of the park to left field. And now we're going to have a mound visit from the pitching coach, Kevin Smith, as Miles Ryan, the catcher, will join them at the mound. We'll see if this is maybe the end of the day for De La Pena already, or maybe they just want to give him some kind of encouragement and want to talk to him about this hitter who rocked the fastball out of left field. I believe it was the first pitch he saw. And looks like De La Pena is definitely going to stay in. As it also looks like I think I just saw Micah Byer down the first base line getting ready to warm up in the bullpen over there. So Micah Byer and Art Salazar are also here, but I definitely did see Byer walking into the bullpen. But those are definitely two guys that we figure to see later on today. Both pitchers. I mentioned this is a team in the Buccaneers that have played a lot of games this week and still have a bunch more to go, or a couple more at least, in the next 2 days. Fastball low and away for a ball, and it's 1-0. We mentioned Stephen Knudsen hit the home run out of left field. 6'0", 265 pounds for Oklahoma Baptist. This is going to be a stolen bag, and I mean, it was really just an easy stolen base there for Rob Smith. He was off way before the pitch even came to home plate. And now there's 2 runners in scoring position, and they can basically steal base pretty much whenever they want. That's what they've shown so far. They were picked off 1 time, but already 3 stolen bags, and it's still the 3rd inning. Fastball on the outside, called a strike. Oklahoma Baptist was a very, very good NAIA program this year. They made the NAIA World Series. Now working out of the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And that'll be strike 3, excuse me. So down goes Knudsen. That's the first out here in the 3rd inning. So De La Pena, he's given up 4 runs and also has 4 strikeouts in just 2 1/3 innings pitched. Here comes Scott Mitchell, a victim of one of those 4 strikeouts. So he is 0 for 1. Obviously, it would be a major plus for the Bucs if they could get out of this inning. Only giving up that 1 run. This pitch misses inside for ball 1, 1-0 count, especially considering there were runners on 2nd and 3rd with no outs before that strikeout. Now, of course, there's 1 out. Corner infielders playing on the grass. Meanwhile, the middle infielders are not on the grass, so they will concede the run. We saw the entire infield playing in a lot against the Pirates on Thursday. Here's the pitch. And it misses low for a ball. Nice job by Ryan to block that one and make sure it didn't get back to the backstop, or else another run would have scored. Of course, in that situation when you're playing the Pirates, it's a SCCBL league matchup, so every single run, I guess you'd say, matters just a little bit more. Actually, it worked, and another nice stop made by Ryan on another bouncer to him. But yeah, it actually worked. The shortstop was in. I think it was either Riley or Brooks. I believe it was Riley. And he made a nice play. I mean, it was hit a couple feet to his right, kind of made a backhanded grab and threw it into the plate and got the runner. Ball 4 misses on the inside, I guess. And so now the bases are loaded for top speed here in the 3rd inning. Still only 1 out, but it's almost a better thing to have the bases loaded because now you can turn 2. And the middle infielders obviously going to play double play depth, while the corner infielders will try to probably come home. This one's swung and lifted foul and out of play down the 3rd base line. So it's 0-1 to Ryan Dean. Dean is 0 for 1 and struck out in the 2nd inning. I think Jason De La Pena would love another strikeout of him right here. Off-speed pitch misses outside and low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Well, the bases are full of top speed players. On 3rd base is Matt Haskins, who had the RBI double. Lake Aiken here's the pitch. Swung and fouled, and it's 1-2. On 2nd base is Rob Smith, who singled and stole 2nd. And on 1st, I should say, is Scott Mitchell, who just drew the walk. If you're just joining us, the score is already 4-2 here in the 3rd inning. This one is swung on, line drive over to Michael Smith. Smith makes the catch and tries to get to 2nd, but couldn't get there before the runner over there, Rob Smith, tagged up. So we have a liner out to 2nd base for the 2nd out of the inning. But we should say, if you're just joining us, because it's just around 12 o'clock right now, the game was originally scheduled for 12 o'clock before being moved to 11. It's 4-2. Buccaneers are trailing Top Speed. 2 runs were scored by each team in the first inning. Top Speed actually took one out of the park, which is only the second time that's happened all summer long between any of the games between the Buccaneers and Pirates here at Cal Poly Pomona. Then Top Speed got another run in the second and one here in the third. They currently have the bases loaded and 2 outs. Jason De La Pena is going against Tyler Davis here. Davis swings at the first pitch he sees and bounces it foul down the third base line, so it's 0-1 to Tyler Davis. Davis is 0 for 1. Reached on an error by the third baseman Riley. Stole second and wound up scoring on an RBI hit by Mike Aiello, the catcher. Here's the pitch from De La Pena. Outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count. You know, when you're in a, well, actually, really, on any batter, you always want to be ahead in the count if you're the pitcher. But especially with the bases loaded, every pitch is magnified. So it was good to get up 0-1, but now it's 1-1. And this one misses high and away. So it's 2-1. That's where we're just kind of talking about. You don't want to fall behind the hitter here, because when you get behind the count, you're going to have to end up throwing some more fastballs, and then the hitter can kind of just sit dead red on fastball and look to drive something. Let's see if that's what Davis does right here on the 2-1 offering. This one misses outside, and it's now 3-1. So this is probably what you would call the ultimate hitter's pitch, 3-1. With the bases loaded. As a hitter, you must be just thinking that a fastball is going to be coming about belt high, because you have to get the strike over, or otherwise a run's going to score anyways on a walk. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, and it's 3-2. Full count. So the runners will be in motion on a full count with 2 outs in the third inning once De La Pena delivers this ball. So if this one is hit in the outfield, you probably will end up seeing it 3 runs scored. Of course, De La Pena is not thinking that way. He wants to retire the hitter at the plate. Taking a little bit of time here to decide exactly what pitch he wants to throw. And now time is called for by the hitter, Davis. Smart idea by him, because, as we mentioned, De La Pena was just standing on the mound forever. Here comes the full count pitch. The runners are in motion and swung on and fouled back. So we'll do it again. Another full count pitch to come. A lot of people like to say the merry-go-round is in motion, as all the wheels are turning over at third base, second base, and first base. And then you got the hitter at the plate as well. Well, here comes the ultimate payoff pitch with the bases loaded, full count, swung on and fouled again. So Davis doing a good job here of protecting the plate. Fouling back a pitch that was kind of low and inside, and then one that was high and away. Both of them you have to obviously try to swing at on a full count pitch. Both of them probably would have been called strikes if you take them. This is obviously a big out here as the Bucs trail by 2 runs with the bases loaded and 2 outs. You can kind of get out of this jam here. You're still in the game. If not, the game might be broken open a little bit. Runners go again, and this one called. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Nice pitch right there by Jason De La Pena to get out of the jam and only allow 1 run after their runners on second and third, no outs. Nobody else scores, but they did get that 1 run on the RBI double by Matt Haskins. And so it is now 4-2 Top Speed as we head to the bottom of the third inning. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 3 we go in a 4-2 game. Top Speed on top of the Buccaneers as Anthony Seminaris comes out for his first at-bat, the number 10 hitter in the lineup. And then we'll go back to the top of the order, Miles Ryan and Busi Lashuayo and Kevin Riley, should we get to Kevin Riley. Seminaris is 5'10", 175, right-handed stick. Plays for Fullerton College. First pitch swung and fouled behind home plate, and it's 0-1. Seminars, his hometown, is Chino Hills. Went to Ayala High School, where he's a first-team All-Sierra League selection and a second-team All-CIF performer. Takes strike 2. Nice breaking pitch in there, and it's 0-2. Well, you look at what his batting average was, and to be considered second-team All-CIF with a .457 batting average, that's a bit crazy. Swings at this one and lines it into center field, and making a sliding catch out there in center field is Haskins to record the out. And it's been a tough go at it for Anthony Seminars. He's had a couple of hits like that you think off the bat that's definitely going to be a single. And then the fielders just end up making good plays. He also had a hit taken away from him yesterday on an infield single that he beat out. And I am 100% sure that he beat that one out, but he was called out at first base. And here is Miles Ryan at the plate. High and in, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Ryan is 0 for 1, flew out to the first baseman in his first at-bat. You don't typically see a catcher in a leadoff spot, but he's a guy that makes a lot of contact with the ball, so you figure that he's always going to be on base for the most part. High and away for ball 2. 2-0 the count here to Miles Ryan. Ryan's batting .300 this season. And this one misses high for ball 3. So it's now 3-0 to Miles Ryan. 5 RBIs, a couple runs. 12 for 40 overall. That'll get you that 300 clip for number 5. 3-0 right down Broadway in there for strike 1, and it's 3-1. Taking all the way was Ryan. It's interesting because still in summer collegiate leagues, you see a lot of guys take the 3-0 pitch, but we've seen a couple guys for the Pirates get the green light on 3-0. This one swung on 3-1, lifted to shallow right field, and calling for it out there is the fielder Egan, the right fielder Egan, for the second out. So a couple flyouts to the outfield. That one was obviously more of a flyout than the one that was hit by Anthony Seminars, who actually ripped a line drive into right center, but the center fielder was playing him perfectly. I guess maybe because he was the last hitter in the lineup, the center fielder might have been playing in a bit, and that ended up costing Seminars a base hit. Here's Mbusi Hlashwayo. Swings at the first pitch each season, lifts it to deep center field. That might make it over the head of the center fielder. Yes, it does. Hlashwayo digging in for second, and it looks like he's going to be hustling all the way to third, rounding second base and sliding into third, and he is going to be safe. Hlashwayo is safe. The throw came in time, and it looked like maybe the tag just couldn't be applied, or the third baseman over there, Smith, couldn't handle it, and Hlashwayo ends up with a triple. I'm not exactly sure if manager Kevin Bowler wanted him to go over to third base. We talk about Hlashwayo. He has a lot of speed, so if anybody could do it, it's him. But I think that really he wanted him to hold up at second base. But here comes Kevin Riley now with a man in scoring position. He takes a breaking pitch low for ball 1, and it's 1-0 to Kevin Riley. Riley, we talked about him, the .360 batting average, also a .439 on-base percentage, has been outstanding for the Buccaneers this season. Swings at this one and bounces it down the third base line. A nice play made over there by Smith, and an even better dig over at first base. Wow, great play by both corner infielders for top speed to retire Kevin Riley on a tough bouncer that was timed very, very well by Smith. And that'll do it for the Buccaneers here in the third inning. And at the end of 3 full innings of play, it remains 4-2 top speed on top of the Buccaneers. And welcome back, Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. To the top of 4 we go. 4-2 the score, top speed on top of the Buccaneers. as Jason De La Pena remains on the mound here for the Bucs. De La Pena. It's been an interesting day because he's struck out 5, but has also given up 4 runs. First pitch is grounded to the right side over towards the first baseman, Bryce Brooks, who will call off De La Pena and step on the bag for the first out. So Egan is retired on 1 pitch here in the 4th inning. It's been a very good offensive day so far for both sides, really, and very entertaining, as it was Top Speed who scored 2 in the 1st inning, and the Bucs answered with 2 of their own in the bottom of the 1st, and Top Speed tacking on 1 in the 2nd and 3rd, and that's where we stand. 4-2 the score, top of the 4th inning. Up at the plate is Mike Aiello, who has an RBI single, 1 for 1 on the day. First pitch misses low for ball 1. You mentioned that Johnny Juarez is the catcher now. It's Juarez and Ryan switching off every other inning behind home plate. Here's the pitch from the southpaw, swung on and missed by Aiello. Being joined by Aaron Reynoso of the Pirates, just making it back from San Diego last night, sweeping a doubleheader, 8-4 and 4-0 over Team San Diego, and putting the Pirates in first place at 8-3. This one swung over towards the third baseman, Kevin Riley, who makes a backhanded grab and fires across the diamond for the second out here of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down here for Jason De La Pena, as Ricky Rodriguez, the leadoff hitter, comes to the plate. He has reached base both times, drew a walk in the 1st inning, and doubled and scored in the 3rd inning. That 3rd inning actually was a good job by Jason De La Pena to kind of stop the bleeding. First pitch is in there for strike 1. The first 2 hitters in the inning both doubled, and then you had runners on 2nd and 3rd with no outs. And he gave up no runs to get out of that jam after giving up the first run, obviously. So De La Pena did a good job to just ensure that it was 4-2 and it didn't get to be out of hand for the Buccaneers. This last pitch missed low for ball 1, and it's 1-1. So we're back at the top of the lineup for Top Speed. This one misses low, and it's 2-1. Top Speed feeling good about themselves as well. I just mentioned that the Pirates are probably feeling good about themselves winning the doubleheader. Swan and missed, strike 2, 1-2 the count. Top Speed just came back from Palm Springs, where they knocked off the Power 2 times. So there's only 2 teams to beat the Power this season, and that is the Pirates and Top Speed. Pitch is low in the dirt for a ball. And it's now a full count here to Ricky Rodriguez. Should Rodriguez get on base, Matt Haskins is on deck. Haskins has reached base both times. De La Pena steps off the mound and comes right back on, kind of maybe just buying a little bit of time, thinking about exactly what pitch he wants to throw here, and it was a good decision because it was swung and missed on an off-speed pitch. So that is the 6th strikeout, I should say, of the game for Jason De La Pena, and we are through 3.5 innings. The score remains 4-2 Top Speed. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-2 the score, Top Speed leading over the Buccaneers as the first pitch misses high for ball 1 to Johnny Juarez, the extra hitter / catcher in this game. As we mentioned, rotating at catcher every other inning. He is 1 for 1 with an RBI single, and Juarez has gotten very hot with the bat as of late. Pitch misses low in the dirt as the dugout being very vocal, something we've seen a lot over the past few games for this Buccaneer team. Juarez batting .286 on the season, but as we mentioned, getting really hot lately. Swings and misses at this one, though. So we're at the cleanup hitter in the lineup. We'll go 4-5-6, which is Juarez, Rubito, and Brooks. Going back to the 1st inning, That was the part of the lineup that had a lot of big production, as this one misses high for a ball, because Johnny Juarez had the RBI single, and then Anthony Rubito had the RBI groundout. So these next two hitters knocking in the 2 runs of the game for the Buccaneers. High, ball 4. So Johnny Juarez, even though he doesn't get a hit here, we're just talking about how well he's been seeing the ball lately, and that's a testament to that. Draws the walk, gets the leadoff man on base, and here comes Anthony Rubito. Rubito is 0 for 1, but did have the RBI groundout back in the first inning. We're talking about the pop he has behind his bat. A lot of power for this right-handed hitter, but he's actually going to square around, and the pitch is low for a ball. So this is an interesting situation here, because it is still only the bottom of the 4th inning. And even though you have Rubito at the plate, I guess this is definitely a sacrifice bunt situation, and that's exactly what they're going to do here, as Rubito is squaring around very early. And we'll have a pickoff throw over to first base. So if you can sacrifice Juarez over to second base, get him in scoring position, and then maybe Brooks or Smith come through with a base hit, it's a 1-run game. That's how you manufacture runs, of course. Rubito squaring around and brings it back on a breaking pitch, but it was called a strike anyways, and it's now 1-1. Anytime you get that leadoff man on base, the odds of scoring at least one run usually go up a lot. So let's see if that holds true here for the Buccaneers. This one misses outside, and it's 2-1. So Rubito has just been squaring around and taking pitches here. Here's the 2-1. Comes inside, and he actually tried to swing at it, and it was off the fist. And Juarez will actually advance to second base anyways, as the first baseman could not make the throw over there to second. The first baseman, of course, is Knudsen, who had the home run earlier in the game. But Rubito gets the job done, I guess you would say, even though he was showing bunt, ends up swinging and advancing the runner Juarez to second base. So Bryce Brooks now working with the man in scoring position here. Brooks is 0 for 1, grounded out to the pitcher. Swings at the first pitch he sees, fly ball over to right field. Probably just routine fly out there to right field. The outfielder, Egan, really didn't have to move that much. Looked like he took maybe a step in or so he hadn't played very well on that one. And up comes Michael Smith. Michael Smith is 0 for 1, flew out to the third baseman on the very first pitch he saw. Fastball paints the outside corner, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Smith is the youngest of 5 siblings. His 4 older siblings all playing collegiate athletics at one point. And this one misses low, and it's 1-1. Of course, Michael is still a senior in high school, so he might have a lot of shoes to fill. His 2 sisters both played at Oklahoma State for soccer, and his 2 brothers playing collegiately in baseball. Checks his swing and holds up, and that'll be a ball low and away, as the pitcher was actually asking for the second base umpire on an appeal. Normally you see the catcher do that. But the second base umpire says that, yes, indeed, Michael Smith did hold up. Here's the pitch. Swan, towering fly ball to straightaway center field. And Haskins camps underneath it and makes the grab for the final out of the inning. So at the end of 4 full innings of play, it remains a 4-2 ball game with Top Speed leading the Buccaneers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. 4-2 the score. Buccaneers trailing Top Speed as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Matt Haskins at the plate, who actually just recorded the last flyout out in the last half inning for Top Speed. First pitch misses high and away for ball 1 from Jason De La Pena. So it's 1-0. Second pitch misses low and inside for ball 2, 2-0 the count. All the same players remain in the field. Normally in about the 5th or 6th inning, we'll start seeing some changes. Fly ball to deep center field. And Hlatchwayo, it gets over his head. And that'll be a stand-up double for Matt Haskins. So Haskins, who had the RBI double back in the 3rd inning, has yet another 2-bagger. He goes to 2 for 3 on the day. And up comes Rob Smith, the number 3 hitter in the lineup. He's 1 for 2, singled in the 3rd, and flew out to the pitcher De La Pena back in the 1st inning. So the heart of the lineup coming up here against De La Pena with the first man on base at second. Bending the outside corner is De La Pena on that last pitch, and it's 0-1 here. Well, he'd certainly like to get this man out because on deck is Stephen Knudsen, who hit the home run to left field. Although the second at bat, De La Pena got the better of him with the strikeout. Time being called for as the pitcher and catcher, Juarez and De La Pena, will go over their strategy on exactly how they want to get out. Number 1, Rob Smith for top speed. Here's the pitch. And fouled back towards the backstop. We talked about it, but definitely another warm day at Cal Poly Pomona. Of course, top speed coming from Palm Springs, where it was probably even hotter. In fact, I would say it was definitely hotter. Swung on and fouled back at the screen. Of course, in Palm Springs, they only play 7 o'clock games because it's really actually pretty much too hot to play during the day there. But they still experienced it before the games, I guess you would say. And BP, De La Pena, very deliberate, fires, called strike 3 at the knees, and so that is another strikeout for De La Pena. So De La Pena having an interesting game because he's been hit around a little bit, but has also struck out a bunch of batters. That was his 7th strikeout in 4 1/3 innings pitched against top speed. And here comes Stephen Knudsen. He is 1 for 2. Had the 2-run home run and also struck out. Swings at the first pitch he sees. Is a fly ball to deep left field, and the catch is made. Towering fly ball at that. Catch made by Chavez out there in left field. So that's the second out here in the 5th inning. And up comes Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell, 0 for 1, struck out in the 1st inning and walked in the 3rd inning. So good job by De La Pena after giving up a leadoff double to retire the number 3 and 4 hitters in the lineup. The question is, will he be able to also retire the number 5 hitter? Get it out of a little mini jam. The runner's off with the pitch, and the throw is going to come down to 3rd very late. But another stolen bag for top speed, and they have had a lot of them. That is the 4th stolen base so far for top speed. They're really reading Jason De La Pena like a book, I guess, and they're getting a huge jump. And that last one, I'm not sure if Juarez would have been able to make the play even if he got it cleanly. He kind of lost the handle of the ball in transition from the glove to the hand, but decided to throw it down to Kevin Riley anyways. This one misses low and away for a ball. Here's the pitch, and this one also low and away for another ball. Well, it's tough to see anytime when a team is running like this on you, but De La Pena has done his best to get out of it, and have some, I guess, minimal damage. Has given up 4 runs in 4 2/3 innings pitched, though. And this one gets by the catcher, and that's going to be a wild pitch, and in comes a run on a walk for Top Speed. So Scott Mitchell is now also on first base, and the run crossing home plate was Matt Haskins to make it a 5-2 ball game. Buccaneers trailing. And that's something that has seemingly plagued the Buccaneers this season. Whether it be a wild pitch or a pass ball, seems like that type of thing happens a little bit more than it should happen with runners on third base. This pitch is line drived into right field for a base hit by Ryan Dean. And so now there are 2 men on board here in the top of the 5th inning. 1 run already in. That was on the wild pitch by De La Pena, and Haskins scored. Here comes Tyler Davis. He is 0 for 2. Did reach on an error and scored back in the 2nd inning. Well, it's really tough because you did give up the leadoff double, but then you retired the 3 and 4 hitters. Fastball in the outside corner, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. And then the runner Haskins steals third base. There was really not even a throw. I mean, the throw came to third base, but it came well after Haskins was already at the bag. And then a wild pitch, and now a hit batter. And the bases are loaded. So all of a sudden the wheels kind of falling off the wagon, and here comes Kevin Bowler, the manager, to take out De La Pena, I would imagine, because when the manager comes out, it's usually to ask for the baseball and to get the pitcher. Although actually he's going to maybe keep him in. That's interesting. I don't know how they decide whether or not Kevin Bowler comes out or Kevin Smith, the pitching coach. But in this situation, it looks like the manager, Bowler, is going to leave De La Pena in. So I guess he was kind of coaching him up on exactly what they wanted to do to this next hitter, Josh Egan. Egan's 0 for 2 in the game. So De La Pena has actually gotten the better of him so far today, and would love obviously nothing more than to make number 24 in the yellow 0 for 3 with the bases loaded and a 3-run deficit for the Buccaneers. 5-2 the score, top of the 5th inning. Slider low and away, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, the last thing you'd want to see is another wild pitch, scoring another run. And that was actually a good job by Juarez to make sure that it didn't get to the backstop. Now this one misses high and in, and it's 2-0. We were talking about this the last time he had bases loaded. The hitter had a 3-1 count. This time it's a 2-0 count. Those are definitely hitters' pitches right there. De La Pena comes inside, and it's called a strike, and it's 2-1 here to Josh Egan. Scott Mitchell's on third base. He drew a walk. Ryan Dean on second. He singled. This one misses low for a ball in the dirt. And on first base is Tyler Davis, who was hit by a pitch. Play kick, and here's the pitch. And this is an off-speed pitch that catches the inside corner for called strike 2. And so now it's a full count here. And this is the second time we'll see all the runners in motion with a full count and 2 outs, but this one will go in the dirt, and it's a ball. So the runners are in motion, but it doesn't really matter because it's a walk here anyways, and that'll be another run scored. And now Jason De La Pena will get the hook here from Kevin Bowler as Josh Egan gets the RBI walk to make it 6-2 We will step away for a few moments while the new pitcher, Micah Byer, warms up. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Well, Micah Byer is inheriting quite a situation. The bases are loaded here. His team trails by 4 runs, 6-2 the score. Top speed already with 2 runs in this inning. Byer is 5'11", 145, goes to Cal Baptist and went to Don Lugo High School in the Inland Empire. First pitch from him is low and gets by the catcher Juarez. Juarez is going to throw it to Byer, and Byer will apply the tag, and they make the out over at first, or at home plate, I should say. So almost another wild pitch, scoring a run, but Juarez getting to it very quickly and throwing it to Byer, who covered, and they get out of the inning there. So we are halfway through this game, and it's now 6-2, Top Speed leading the Buccaneers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-2 the score. Top Speed on top of the Buccaneers. Richie Chavez at the plate, swings at this one, and actually that's Rudy Casares, and fouled that one back behind home plate. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded it out to the third baseman. We do have a new pitcher, and that is Kyle Van Schaak for the men in yellow, Top Speed. Fastball outside for a ball. 2-1 the count here to Casares. On deck is Chavez, and in the hole, Seminaris. Casares cracks this one down the left field line, and rounding first and headed into second with a stand-up double is Casares. So that's a leadoff double right there. Crack down that left field line. And here comes Richie Chavez. Chavez, 5'10", 165-pound left-handed hitter. Hoping to maybe just trade places with the man on second base and Rudy Casares. If he could do that, that would be an RBI double for him. Pitch swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. So Lucchesi is done for the day. He tossed 4 innings for Top Speed and allowed 2 runs. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and away and in the dirt. The catcher can't find it. Now he finds it and throws down to third and actually kind of just bluffs the throw, which is a good decision because definitely Casares was there before the throw would have been made. And so the Bucs now have a man at third base after the wild pitch. Bucs trying to chip away at a 4-run deficit. Would love nothing more than to score a run here. Breaking pitch called a strike to Chavez. Well, you have 2 opportunities here to knock this runner in without even having to get a hit. You need a sacrifice fly, ground ball, probably to the middle infielders. This one misses high and away for a ball. Buccaneers have really just shown a lot more life. I keep kind of harping on this, but they have shown a lot more energy, specifically in the dugout. Talking a lot more. But this one swung on and missed, and that's strike 3, and down goes Chavez, and that's really something that you can't really afford in that situation. With the runner on third and no outs, you got to try to get the ball in play. Because more likely than not, if you just get the ball on the ground in that situation, Top Speed's probably willing to concede the run. They're leading by 4. Here's the pitch, and it misses. Oh, it's called a strike to Anthony Seminaris. And it's 0-1. Seminaris is 0 for 1. Hit the line drive into right center field that I thought was definitely going to be a base hit. Swings at this one, and it's foul down the first base line. 0-2 the count. Well, Seminaris has had a tough kind of last couple games. A lot of hits that he would have had were robbed, including that one in the first at bat for him back in the 3rd inning today. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt, swung on and missed. And so 2 consecutive strikeouts here for Top Speed after the Bucs got a runner on third base. And it's just tough. You can't afford to do that. You got to get the ball in play somewhere. Here's Miles Ryan. He's 0 for 2. Couple flyouts, one to the first baseman and one to the right fielder. See what he can do against this new pitcher, Kyle Van Schaik. First pitch, fastball, called strike, and it's 0-1 to Miles Ryan. Rudy Casares taking his lead in foul territory over at third base. Obviously nobody holding him on. Breaking pitch in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 the count. On deck is Mbusi Lashuayo, number 2 hitter in the lineup. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung and driven to the left side. Charging and firing across his body is the shortstop. And what a dig made over at first base by Knudsen. I mean, that's the second time where the two infielders both made great plays. And if they don't make great plays, the Bucs have 2 more runs. This time, it was a slow roller in the kind of in the hole area over to the left side. Rodriguez charging, firing sidearm across his body, and then Knudsen making the nice backhanded dig over at first base to retire Miles Ryan. So that will do it for the 5th inning, and it remains 6-2, Buccaneers trailing. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Let's head to the top of 6th inning. 6-2 the score. Top Speed leading over the Buccaneers. First pitch from Byer in there at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 0-1. Up at bat is Mike Aiello, the catcher, who was actually at bat in the last inning, but the ball got away from Juarez temporarily. Called strike, fastball, and it got away from Juarez temporarily, and this was the only pitch Byer actually threw in the last inning, and he got to it quickly and threw to Byer, and Byer applied the tag at home plate. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. So 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and a strikeout here for Micah Byer. Byer is a guy who we remember against the Pirates had a very, very good start for the Buccaneers. Went 4 2/3 innings and just couldn't get that final out in the 5th inning. But before that, he'd only given up 1 run against a lineup like that, and that was a nice breaking pitch, but it just misses low. I want to talk about the maybe 12-6 variety. That one really just bit hard. At the plate is Ricky Rodriguez, the leadoff hitter for Top Speed. He is 1 for 2, doubled and scored back in the 3rd inning as this pitch is called a strike. Struck out in the 4th and walked in the 1st inning. Byer comes set, working out of the stretch, and this one is a hanging off-speed pitch that hangs too high. 2-1 the count for Byer. I mentioned this before, but it's worth noting again. Byer, definitely a relief type of pitcher. Only works out of the stretch. Never throws from the windup. Swung on and lined down the third base line, foul, and it's 2-2. We actually have a lot of Top Speed guys down the third base line hanging out in T-shirts and shorts. I'm not exactly sure who those are, but maybe there are a couple of the suspended players for this team. This one's fouled into the third base dugout. The reason they have a few players suspended is because I guess they partied too hard in Palm Springs after getting the 2-game sweep of the Power. I mean, this is a hit by pitch right here, but I mean, you have to attempt to get out of the way, and that I really feel like he should still be in the batter's box, and that should have just been called the ball. I mean, not only did he not even attempt to move, but he basically put his elbow into the pitch, but it's going to be a hit by pitch anyways. Here for Ricky Rodriguez. And here comes Matt Haskins. Haskins enjoying a very good day. Couple doubles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. First pitch in there, called strike 1 on the inside corner, and it's 0-1 to Haskins. Well, Haskins is a guy that really, it seems like any time this team has had a rally today, he's been right in the center of it, because he has been. It doesn't seem like that. He actually has been, as we mentioned, scoring the 1 run in the first, hitting in a run in the third, and scoring a run in the fifth. So he's contributed to at least 1 run in every single inning he's hit in. Obviously, the Buccaneers will hope that that trend ceases to exist here. Called strike on the outside corner, and that is strike 2. So Haskins is going to have to protect the plate here with the 2-strike pitch from Micah Byer. Nice breaking pitch, called strike 3 in at the knees. And down goes Haskins. So that is now the 2nd strikeout for Micah Byer. And up comes Rob Smith. Smith is 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd inning, and struck out in the 5th, and flew out in the 1st. On deck is the big cleanup hitter. Ooh, that is a fastball that was way overthrown. And that is putting it lightly. The ball actually didn't even make it to the dirt in the batter's box. And so that is a obvious wild pitch there. Rodriguez going up to second base and now is in scoring position. 6-2 the score, top of the 6th inning. Buccaneers trailing. Top Speed scored 2 in the 1st inning, but the Bucs came right back with 2 of their own. Nice off-speed pitch called to strike, and it's 1-1. But then ever since the Bucs answered and tied it up at 2, Top Speed, they scored 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 2nd as well, and 2 in the 5th. That's how they lead 6-2. The runner's off of the pitch, breaking pitch in there, and the throw is down to third base, and they got him. A nice play by Johnny Juarez to throw out the base runner. And so Rodriguez is caught stealing, and that'll do it for the top of the 6th inning. So at the end of 5.5 innings of play, it remains 6-2. The Buccaneers are trailing Top Speed. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the bottom of 6 we go. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad you're joining us on InlandValleyBaseball.com for this matchup between the Buccaneers and Top Speed. First pitch in there for strike 1 to Mbusi Latchwayo. If you remember last time, Latchwayo lined the ball into right center, foul tip, and it's 0-2. And got a triple out of it. Mentioned before, he has very, very good speed. And he displayed it there as this one misses outside for a ball. And it's 1-2 to Latchwayo. Latchwayo has a .382 on base percentage this season. Swings and fouls this one off behind home plate. And we'll do it again, another 1-2 count for number 1-2. And really the .382 on base percentage is something that's you're going to look at with Mbusi because of that speed. But this is called strike 3 on the inside corner, and down he goes for the first out of the inning. And the reason you look at that is because if he can get on base that many times, you know, pretty much every time he's on base, he's a threat to steal. And so pretty much every time he gets on base, you think maybe you have a chance of getting a guy in scoring position at the very least. And here is Kevin Riley. Speaking of good on-base percentages, he has a .439 on-base percentage and fouls this one down the first base line, 0-1 the count. Riley is 1 for 2, singled and scored back in the first inning, and grounded out to the third baseman in the third inning on a great play made by Smith. This one hits Riley in the left arm, so he will hustle down to first base. And here comes Johnny Juarez. But just going back to that 5-3 putout First of all, it was just a great play made, but secondly, Smith saved the run from scoring too. It was not a routine play. He charged, backhanded, threw it sidearm, and this one gets by the catcher. It's going to be a wild pitch, and Riley will advance into scoring position at second base. And then a nice play as well was made at first base by Knudsen to kind of dig it out. Or otherwise, the Bucs would have scored a run there, and that inning would have continued. Juarez awaiting the 1-0 offering. Here it comes. Swan lifted into right field. Towering fly ball out into right field. Their outfielder out there, Egan, makes the catch and throws it to third base. And Riley will not be able to advance there, as the dugout was very happy over in the third base dugout. The top speed dugout was very happy with the throw, as the right fielder Egan threw it perfectly to third base, and Kevin Riley couldn't even try to run on that and tag up. Here comes Jack Spahn. Spahn is replacing Anthony Rabito. First pitch called a strike on the outside corner, and actually got away from the catcher temporarily, but Riley stays put over there at second base. So Rabito ends 0 for 2, but did have an RBI ground out. Jack Spahn, of course, from Point Loma Nazarene. Here's the pitch. Swings at this one and grounds it to the left side. And the shortstop making another nice play, ranging to his right and throwing across his body over to the first base to record the out. So down goes Spahn here to end the 6th inning. And at the end of 6 full innings of play, it remains 6-2. Top Speed leading the Buccaneers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We head to the top of the 7th inning in a 6-2 ball game. Top Speed leading the Inland Valley Buccaneers. Micah Byer remains on the mound. First pitch from him is a fastball overthrown in the dirt, and it's 1-0 to Rob Smith, the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Smith was actually at plate in the last inning, but Ricky Rodriguez was caught stealing. Ooh, nice breaking pitch, painting the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Byer's shown a lot of movement on those breaking pitches so far here today. 1-1, Swan and fouled out of play, and it's 1-2. If you remember, Byer actually came in the 5th inning and inherited a bases-loaded jam. And the first pitch he threw actually bounced away from Johnny Juarez, and the runner from third base tried scoring. Juarez got to it, flipped it to Byer, and this one just gets away from Byer, and it's 2-2. And Byer applied the tag, and so he got out of the inning there. And then in the 6th inning, Byer recorded 2 strikeouts looking. And we mentioned just right now the caught stealing. That was the 3rd out of that inning. Swung and missed, strike 3. So that is the 3rd strikeout for Byer. And 1 2/3 innings pitched for the Buccaneers. And here comes the big cleanup hitter, Stephen Knudsen. He is 1 for 3. But the one was a big one. It was a 2-run home run over the left field wall. First pitch is a fastball in the outside corner, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Well, it's always like this for Micah Byer. It seems like he really gets in a rhythm, and when he gets in a rhythm, he's very, very tough to hit. Off-speed pitch hangs too high, and it's 1-1. Of course, Byer was actually a member of the Pirates last season. One of only 2 players to, I guess, sort of be returning players in the sense that they're back with the Inland Valley Baseball Association. This one misses high, and it's 2-1. But moving from the Pirates over to the Bucs, the other player being Bryce Brooks, who started this game at first base and has since been removed for Jack Spahn. Swung on and missed, and that's strike 2. Speaking of Spahn, we just mentioned he was in at first base. It's Luke Asperger replacing Casares at second base. Kevin Riley has shifted from third to short, and this one is swung and fouled straight back at the screen. So Riley now in at short as Seminaris goes to the bench, and we've got Ramirez at third. So a brand new infield for the Bucs. This one swung over towards the third base line and foul. Also, we have, it looks like Mbusi Hlashwayo is now in left instead of center. And I believe that is Diego Cortez in center. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Another strikeout here for Micah Byer. So 3 in a row for him, and 4 in total, and just 2 innings of work. And up comes Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell, 0 for 1, struck out in the first inning, walked in the third inning, and walked and scored in the fifth inning. First pitch to him is a breaking pitch on the outside corner, called strike 1. 0-1 the count. Byer not wasting much time. Very economical with his pitches. Just going about his business. Fastball swung, and this one is driven straight back up the middle for a base hit. Making a nice diving attempt was Riley, but that was definitely going to be a single. It was definitely going to make it through. So Mitchell with his first base hit of the day, but reaches base for the third time. As we mentioned, had 2 walks previously to that at-bat. And here comes Ryan Dean. Ryan Dean is 1 for 3. Struck out, lined out to the second baseman, and singled in the fifth inning. First pitch to him is another breaking pitch on the outside corner, called a strike, and it's 0-1. You talk about maybe pitchers working backwards, and Micah Byer is a guy who seems to do that a little bit. And what I mean by working backwards is you throw off-speed pitches to set up your fastball as opposed to throwing fastballs to set up your off-speed pitches. This is another off-speed pitch on the outside corner, called strike 2, and it's 0-2. So a battle between number 20 of the Bucs and number 20 of Top Speed. Sees the count the exact opposite, 0-2. Runners off with the pitch, and it's swung and fouled out of play down the third base line. So we'll do it again, another 0-2 to come. Wouldn't it be really interesting if Byer actually threw a ball here, and for the third consecutive inning, a man who's at the plate in one inning will come up in the next inning, because 2 guys were caught stealing the last 2 innings to finish those innings off. Or Byer could go with a pick off a throw, which he just made an attempt right there, but the runner, Mitchell, remained on his feet over at first base. Fastball, swung and fouled out of play. Behind home plate over towards the parking lot on the third base line. Parking around the baseball field designated for students, even though obviously it's the summertime now. School not in session. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Micah Byer, he strikes out the side and has struck out 5 and 2 1/3 innings pitched. Very strong performance for number 20. And that'll do it for the top half of the 7th inning. And so now it is time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona in a 6-2 ball game. The Bucs are trailing. And welcome back. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. We are headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. The score, 6-2, Top Speed leading the Inland Valley Buccaneers. And here comes Gerardo Ramirez for his first plate appearance of the day. He is batting in Bryce Brooks' slot in the lineup. Brooks finishes 0 for 2 with a groundout and a flyout on the day. First pitch, swung and fouled straight back at the screen, and is 0-1. There's also a new pitcher on the mound for Top Speed, and that is Nick Sanchez. Gerardo Ramirez, 5'10", 210 pounds. Went to Diamond Bar High School, or still goes to Diamond Bar High School, as this one misses in the dirt for ball 1. 1-1 the count. this past season put up very impressive numbers at Diamond Bar, 364 batting average, and also really good pitching numbers as well. On deck is Tanner Thibodeau. Here's the pitch from Sanchez, fastball on the outside corner, called strike 2 to Gerardo Ramirez. So Thibodeau will be batting in Michael Smith's spot in the lineup. Here's the pitch from Sanchez. A 2-strike pitch is in the dirt for a ball to Ramirez. It looks like he's got a lot of quick action on that breaking pitch. Does number 57, Nick Sanchez, 5'11", 175-pound right-handed pitcher from Lakewood, California. Goes to Sterling College. So a bunch of Sterling College players on this top speed team, as this one is swung and fouled out of play down the first base line over towards that adjacent parking lot. And, of course, we mentioned this before, but over towards the first base side, you have dormitories for Cal Poly Pomona, as well as a parking lot. Fastball on the outside corner, called strike 3. And down goes Ramirez. Ramirez did not like the call, but he's going to have to live with it because what the man in the blue says is final. And here comes Tanner Thibodeau with a special gift for the umpire and a new baseball. So Thibodeau, as we mentioned when he was on deck, replacing Michael Smith, who finishes 0 for 2 with a couple flyouts. Luke Asperger on deck. Thibodeau takes high for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Thibodeau was the hero in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, with what was eventually the game-winning RBI. This is a strike, and it's 1-1 to him. Knocked in Bryce Brooks in the 5th inning, and that was it. 1 run for the Bucs and no runs for the Rounders. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-2 to Thibodeau. Thibodeau takes a long walk around the batter's box area. Thibodeau, one of the few guys not from this area, in the Southern California area. He's from Omaha and went to Elkhorn South High School out there. Also, he attends Kansas City Community College. Swings at this one and lines it up the middle. That'll be a base hit that gets through for Tanner Thibodeau. So Thibodeau is starting to get in a little bit of a groove here over the last couple days after struggling for a week or so or two. But he had that, as we mentioned, that RBI base hit to give the Bucs the win, and now the first at bat he sees today lines one into center field for a hit, and here comes Asperger. Asperger batting for Casares, swings and misses at the first pitch, and it's 0-1 to him. Asperger from Stanford University. 6'0", 190-pound right-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher Sanchez. Thibodeau's off with the pitch, and he steals safely. Head-first slide over there into second base. And Thibodeau was telling me that he has blazing speed. He was telling me he's the fastest guy on the team yesterday when I talked to him. And he challenged anybody in the dugout to a race, which they said happened. Breaking pitch in the dirt, and he's going. And this might be this is a great decision. He slides head first, and he is safe there. What a good job to read that ball in the dirt and to basically diagnose it and take another 90 feet by Thibodeau. And so I don't know if the races happened or not, but basically I asked him if they did the races, and he said they did them, and he said he won all of them, and he beat everybody. And this one misses low for a ball to Luke Asperger. Asperger from Pasadena went to Polytechnic High School, where he was a first-team All-CIF selection, and also won a CIF championship. Swings at this one and fouls it down the first base line. It was high and in, kind of jammed him. So that would be the second strike here to Asperger, who will now have to protect the plate. But big moment here for the Bucs to try to chip away at that 4-run deficit with a runner on third and only one out in a situation where if you're Asperger, if you can just hit it on the ground to the middle infielders or get a fly ball, you have a chance to score the run. This one misses outside. Tanner Thibodeau basically taking matters into his own hands, or I guess you would say legs. First he gets the hit, and then he steals second, and then he goes to third on a wild pitch. And this one is called strike 3 on the outside corner. And Asperger can only grit his teeth and shake his head as he heads back to the dugout on the second out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Charles Escobar. Escobar now hitting for Richie Chavez. Chavez finishes 0 for 2. The ball misses low, and it's 1-0 to Escobar. Escobar is 5'10", 185, a right-handed hitter. Plays for San Bernardino Valley College. Fastball, low for ball 2, 2-0 the count. The Pirates have a guy that plays for San Bernardino Valley College, or at least did the past 2 seasons, and A.J. David, who was a first-team All-Southern California selection. And another one that comes high, and it's 3-0. Escobar's hometown is Rialto, went to Rialto High School. Was an All-Valley selection, hit .462 his senior year in high school. Here's the pitch. And that's a 4-pitch walk drawn by Charles Escobar. So he'll head to first base with the free pass. And we're going to have another new hitter. This one will be Brendan Campbell. So Campbell now batting in Seminaris' spot of the lineup. Campbell is 5'10", 175 from Citrus College. He takes outside for ball 1, 1-0 the count. He was an honorable mention all-conference performer for Citrus this past season as a freshman. Fastball swung on and fouled at a play down the first base line, 1-1 the count. He's from Arcadia, went to Arcadia High School, first team All-CIF selection with them, All-Area and All-League. So another guy who did a lot of impressive things at the high school level. Fastball low and away, ball 2, 2-1 the count. So all of a sudden it looks like Nick Sanchez is losing a little bit of control here for top speed as he's kicking a lot of dirt around on the mound. Maybe he doesn't necessarily like exactly how the dirt feels or how it's set up there. Here's the 2-1. Swung on. And that is a high fly ball to deep left field. And going back, and the play is not made out in left field. So one run comes in to score, and Escobar will be held at third. And honestly, that's going to be an RBI double there because the ball did not hit the glove or anything. But you have to look at Escobar and you have to think that you got to be sprinting. There's 2 outs, so it doesn't matter if the guy catches it. If you're sprinting there, he could have scored on that play, and that could have been 2 runs, and you could have cut the deficit in half. Breaking pitch in there, called strike 1 to Diego Cortez. So Cortez, another new hitter, in for Miles Ryan here. Cortez is one of 3 players with the Inland Valley Baseball Association that plays for University of Laverne. The other 2 are both on the Pirates. That is Brett Early and Nolan Henley. The University of Laverne in a very good conference, the SCIAC. But this is called strike 3, and down goes Diego Cortez. So that's tough to just get your first at bat and kind of go down on 3 straight pitches there. And that'll do it for the Bucs in the 7th inning. They do add 1 run, and it's now 6-3 as we head to the 8th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back as we head to the top of the 8th inning. 6-3 is the score. The Buccaneers are trailing top speed. First pitch is high and inside for ball 1 from Art Salazar, the new pitcher for the Buccaneers. Up at bat is Tyler Davis. Davis is 0 for 2. Did reach on an error. Swings and misses at this one, and it's 1-1. Art Salazar Very tall, 6'6", from Cal State San Bernardino. Fouled back, and it's 1-2. Went to Etiwanda High School. Did number 31. And he played for the Kansas City Royal Scout team his senior year while at Etiwanda. Fastball high and away. Ball 2, 2-2. Also was a member of the honor roll at Etiwanda. Shakes off his signs from Johnny Juarez. And now time's called for by the hitter, Tyler Davis. Here's the pitch. Swan, this is a line drive out in the left field, and Bucsy last while on his horse, but can't get to it on time. And that's going to be a stand-up double here. Stand-up double for Tyler Davis. So Davis now on second base here, leading off the inning in style for Top Speed. And here comes Josh Egan. Egan is 0 for 2. Also walked with the bases loaded, so that would get him an RBI. Here's a pitch from Salazar, high and away, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Well, the Bucs got one back in the 7th, and they now trail by 3 runs. Definitely do not want to give up a run here. Swung on and missed by the hitter, Egan. It was Top Speed that scored 2 in the first on a home run by the cleanup hitter, Steven Knudsen. Then in the bottom of the first, the Bucs responded with 2 of their own, as this breaking pitch is in there for called strike 2. And in that inning, there was an RBI single by Johnny Juarez and an RBI groundout by Anthony Rabito that scored Lachuayo and Riley. So that made it 2-2 at that point. Bounced foul to the right side by Josh Egan, And then in the second inning, Mike Ayala, the catcher, had an RBI single that made it 3-2 Top Speed. They added another in the third, making it 4-2. And this breaking pitch is high and away for a ball. Then in the 5th inning, Top Speed scored 2 more runs to make it 6-2. And then in that last half inning, Bucs responded with 1, and that's where we stand. 6-3 the score. This one swung and hit over to the second baseman, Luke Asperger, who throws over to the first baseman, Spawn, for the out here. But Davis does advance to third base, and so is just 90 feet away from making it a 4-run lead again for Top Speed. Of course, Art Salazar wants to do his best to ensure that he doesn't end up scoring, but this is not going to be possible because this is a wild pitch that gets over the head of Johnny Juarez, and in comes a run to score. And that's the second time a run is scored on a wild pitch in this game, and it's now 7-3. So a few unforced errors in this game. 2 runs scoring on wild pitches and 1 scoring on a walk. This is called a strike to Mike Aiello. If you eliminate those mistakes, I mean, if you take away those 3 runs, it's only 4-3 game. And there are mistakes that you can't really afford to have, swung on and missed, especially against a team like Top Speed or any of the teams in the SCCBL. You can't just give up runs like that. High and away for a ball. Fastball misses low for another ball. 2-2 the count. Well, we talk about it, and you kind of see this in spring training, but you also see that in summer collegiate baseball, is that in between, actually not in between innings, called strike 3 on the outside corner, and Mike Aiello thought he was going to first base with a walk, and will head back to his dugout dejected. But what I was about to say, and what I was noticing, is that in spring training as well as in the summer collegiate baseball leagues, you'll see some of the pitchers or some of the everyday players get some work in the warning track and kind of jog out there and get their cardio in. Swung and missed. 0-1 the count for Ricky Rodriguez as he swung over an off-speed pitch. Rodriguez is 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the third inning. Also reached on a hit by pitch and a walk. Top Speed sticking with the same 9, as this one is fouled off his left ankle, and he's going to have to walk it off a little bit, but it's 0-2 here for Salazar. Due up in the next inning is a good part of the lineup for the Bucs. Lashuayo, Riley, and Juarez, 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. But they did give up another run here in this inning, so they're back behind by 4 again. Swung on, and this is a towering fly ball that's going to slice its way out of play down the first base line. Here's the pitch from Salazar, swung on and hit over to the right side, and Luke Asperger has it under control and makes the play, and that will do it for the top half of the 8th inning. But Top Speed scores yet another run, and they now take a 7-3 lead as we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. To the bottom of 8 we go, 7-3 the score. Top Speed leading the Inland Valley Buccaneers as we have a new pitcher here wearing number 9, Jake Cardoza, for Top Speed. So he comes in to replace Nick Sanchez. As Mbusi Lashuayo steps up to the plate. Lashuayo is 1 for 2. First pitch to him is low for ball 1, 1-0 the count. He walked and scored back in the first inning, tripled in the third inning, and struck out in the 6th. Lashuayo takes inside, but it's called a strike and is 1-1. As we mentioned, this is a good part of the lineup for the Inland Valley Buccaneers. They're at the 2, 3, 4 spots, so right in the middle, in the heart of the lineup, as this one's overthrown in the dirt for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Kevin Riley on deck, who's had a stellar season so far for the Buccaneers. You have to think that he's going to be in Palm Springs for the SCCBL All-Star Game later on this year. This one swung on and lined into left field, so that's the second hit of the day for Lashuayo, who now has a single. We talked about it. He has a lot of speed on the base paths, so very rarely does he stay put at first base. Kevin Bowler really likes to put him in motion, as the third base coach, Kevin Bowler, is giving the signs to both Lashuayo as well as Kevin Riley. Riley's 1 for 2. Takes on the outside corner, called a strike, though, on a fastball, and it's 0-1. Riley singled and scored back in the first inning, grounded out to the third baseman in the third, and was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. This one's in the dirt. And a nice stop by the catcher, Aiello, to ensure that Lashuayo didn't advance 90 feet in the scoring position. Of course, the Top Speed leading 7-3 here, so they're up by 4 runs. It's still fundamental baseball that you like to see, as this one misses low for a ball. And it's 2-1 to Kevin Riley. We talked about Kevin Riley hitting .360 this season, also a .487 on-base percentage. And this one is lined in left field. Lashuayo was off with the pitch, and he'll actually hold up at second. But once again, Kevin Riley coming through with his second hit. So 2 and 3 spot getting it done here for the Bucs in this game. Both of them with 2 hits apiece. And now you have 2 runners on base with no outs. And the cleanup hitter, Johnny Juarez, at the plate, who has been swinging a very, very hot stick over the last couple of days. And yesterday in Game 1, hit a couple doubles, RBI, run. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball blown by Juarez. Today he had an RBI single in his first at-bat, walked in his fourth, and flew out to right field in his last at-bat. On deck is Jack Spahn. Here's the pitch. Another fastball, another strike. This one was not swung at by Juarez, but it's 0-2. Surprised Juarez didn't offer at that pitch unless he thought that something different was coming. Maybe an off-speed pitch. It looked like a good pitch to hit. Another fastball, and this one's low in the dirt, and it's 1-2. Definitely the new right-handed pitcher for Top Speed is bringing a lot of heat. So this one is swung at, and this might be a tailor-made double play. They flip it to second and get the out at first. So 6-4-3 double play there for Johnny Juarez as Rodriguez flipped it to Davis, and Davis turned it over to first. And so just like that, there's 2 outs now. Last Wyo is on third base. And up comes Jack Spahn. Spahn came in the 6th inning as a replacement for Anthony Rabito. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to the shortstop. First pitch is a breaking ball, swung on, and it's a high fly ball in foul territory, but playable for the first baseman Knudsen, and he makes the grab. And that'll do it for the 8th inning. So at the end of 8 innings, it remains 7-3. Buccaneers trailing Top Speed. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back, Dave Silvera on the play-by-play, as always, for all the Inland Valley games, both the Buccaneers and Pirates. We're heading to the top of the 9th inning. 7-3 the score. Buccaneers trailing Top Speed. First pitch misses for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Matt Haskins. Haskins with a couple doubles in this game. Big breaking pitch swung on and foul by Haskins. In fact, in his first 3 plate appearances, he contributed to at least 1 run some way in all 3 of those appearances. 2 runs scored and 1 RBI. Fastball swung on and missed for a strike. So 2-strike count here for Haskins. Actually, the last at-bat for Haskins was the first time he didn't reach base in this game. This one's chopped to the left side, deep in the hole, and Riley can't make the catch. So once again, Haskins is on base. And we mentioned it, Riley's been struggling with the glove this summer season. Had an error at third and now an error at short. The one thing he has been doing is been hitting very, very well. Here's Rob Smith. He is 1 for 4. Takes strike 1 on the inside. Flew out to the pitcher in the first inning, singled in the 3rd, and struck out in the 5th and 7th. Fastball swung off the fist and foul. Well, for the Buccaneers, we talked about it just in the middle of a very long week. Had a game on Tuesday, Thursday. Couple on Saturday, 1 here today on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday as well. This one is fouled off, and that's strike 2. So it doesn't stop after today. Tomorrow, a big game against the Pirates in conference play. Pirates, coming off a doubleheader sweep of Team San Diego, have all but cemented themselves in the SCCBL playoffs. The runner's off with the pitch. Line drive in the left field that gets down for a base hit. So Rob Smith on base with that hit to left field. Now we're going to have Steven Knudsen up again for the 5th time today. He's 1 for 4. So hasn't gotten a hit since hitting the home run in the first inning, but the home run was probably the most memorable thing that happened in this game as he hit it out to left field. And it was a rocket down the left field line. Only the second home run we've seen hit out of this park between the two Inland Valley teams. He's bunting, and it's a fly ball bunt that's going to get down for a hit. Wow. That is something you can't afford to happen if you're the Buccaneers, and somebody has to make that play. It was a fly ball bunt down the third base line, and it gets down, and then they try making the play at third when they probably should have gone to first because it's a slow runner. And they do not retire the hitter at third base, as this one is called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Scott Mitchell. Big breaking pitch swung on and bounced over to Jack Spahn. He comes home, and the play is made at the plate as Juarez was standing on home plate. So they get the out there on a fielder's choice. So everybody will move up right there. And that's the first out here in the 9th inning. Bases remain loaded with top speed baseball players, I should say. Here's Ryan Dean swinging and missing at the first pitch he sees, and it's 0-1. So on third base is Rob Smith, who singled. On second base is Steven Knudsen, who had the bunt flare down the third base line. And on first base is Scott Mitchell, who reached on a fielder's choice, breaking pitch low for ball. 1-1 the count. Salazar working out of the windup with the bases loaded. Obviously, nobody really going to be trying to steal home plate in this situation, as this one misses high and away. Although, if you remember, in the first few innings, Top Speed got a lot of stolen bags. He had 4 stolen bases in the first 5 innings. 2-1. Swung on and lifted into left field, but slicing foul down that left field line. So it's now 2-2. Top Speed, they scored 2 in the top of the first. Bucks scored 2 in the bottom of the first. And Top Speed scoring 4 unanswered runs, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fifth. And this one's fouled back. Bucks responded with 1 to pull within 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th, and they made it 6-3. And then Top Speed getting another run in the 8th to make it 7-3. That's where we stand right now, 7-3 the score. Top Speed leading over the Buccaneers. And Art Salazar in a bit of a jam here, and this is a towering fly ball hit to deep left field. Going back on it is Mbusi last while, and it makes the leaping attempt, but it hits off the edge of his glove. In comes 1 run, and here comes the 2nd run. And there's going to be a play at the plate, but not in time. And so that'll be a 2-run double for Ryan Dean. So now it's a 9-3 ball game. And there's still 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out here for Art Salazar. Here comes Tyler Davis. Davis is 1 for 3. Swings at the first pitch he sees, and this is a deep fly ball to center field, and that could be, it's a 1-hopper to the wall, and this will be another 2-run double for Top Speed as the throw comes in and not in time, and now it gets away from the catcher, and advancing 90 feet into third base is Tyler Davis. So Davis with that 2-run double makes it 11-3. Here's Here's Josh Egan, the right fielder. Takes strike one, and it's 0-1. There is still only one out here in the ninth inning. And this is a line drive to right center, and that's going to get down in the gap, and another run comes home to score. And we got another RBI double for Top Speed Baseball. Still only one out in the inning. 5 runs in. 12-3 the score. Kevin Buller coming out to have a conference with Art Salazar. And it looks like he's going to leave Salazar in. At the plate is Mike Ayalo, waiting patiently because he wants to get in the act, as we've had a lot of hits in a row. I mean, every single batter has reached base in this inning. All 7 of them. The only one that was retired was on a fielder's choice, so obviously on the fielder's choice you still reach base. Now you're sending up the 8th hitter in the lineup, or the 8th hitter in this inning, I should say, 9th hitter in the lineup. And it looks like they are definitely about to bat through the lineup because there's still only one out. So tough way to end the game for the Inland Valley Buccaneers, who are now behind by 9 runs after being close most of the game. Only really a 3-run game most of the game. This one swung and fouled back, and it's 0-1. And really, when it was a 3-run game, you saw that there were a couple of runs that scored on wild pitches and one that scored on a walk. So if you could have eliminated those unforced errors, I mean, it could have almost been a tied game if you take those away. Nice breaking pitch in there at the knees, called a strike. But coulda, woulda, shoulda, that doesn't really get you much in baseball. And it really doesn't end up mattering based on these last inning with 5 runs in already, as Top Speed is looking like they are definitely about to improve to 22-3 on the season. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes Aiello for the second out of the inning. So Aiello now 3 strikeouts in the game as he walks back to his dugout, and the leadoff hitter comes up to the plate. Ricky Rodriguez, the 9th hitter in this inning. So they have now officially hit through the lineup as Top Speed. Rodriguez is 1 for 3. Bounces this one foul down the third base line, and it's 0-1. Also was hit by a pitch and walked. Salazar checks the runner at second, fires home, and it's called a strike on the inside corner to Ricky Rodriguez. Well, I think Top Speed has enjoyed this trip out to Southern California. Nice breaking pitch in there for called strike 3. So a couple of strikeouts to end the inning for Salazar, but as I was saying, Top Speed, when we mentioned this at the top of the broadcast, is from the Bay Area up in Northern California and enjoying the trip to Southern California. A bunch of wins for them. And so that'll do it for the top half of the 9th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th, and the new score is 12-3, Buccaneers trailing. Buccaneers down to their final 3 outs and last at bat here, trailing by 9 runs now, 12-3 the score. Gerardo Ramirez comes to the plate for his second at bat. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. in his previous at-bat. First pitch swung and missed, and it's 0-1. We have a new pitcher, Michael Slifer, in for top speed. Fastball outside, 1-1. So we have Ramirez, Thibodeau, Asperger. Those are the three that are due up. Should anybody get on base, it'll be Charles Escobar. This one's swung on. It's a fly ball that's in foul territory, and the catcher makes the catch right in front of the first baseman. Knudsen, Aiello, was almost taken out by the first baseman, who has definitely I would say, a football body. Big build. Well, here's Tanner Thibodeau. Came in the 7th inning and singled up the middle. Stole second base and scored. Takes low for strike one, 0-1 the count. Late kicking, here's the pitch. Swung on and bounced foul down the first baseline, and it's 0-2. Thibodeau, as we mentioned in his first at-bat, from the Midwest. Not accustomed to the freeway driving, at least he wasn't at the beginning of the season. Said he had seen pretty much nothing like it out in Nebraska. Swings at this one and lines it over to the right side, and the second baseman, Davis, who throws him out for the second out of the inning. And the Bucs are now down to their final out here in the bottom of the 9th. And here comes Luke Asperger. Asperger's 0 for 1, struck out looking. First pitch to him is a fastball, and it's chopped over towards the shortstop, and he's a good player, but this one is actually off the bag. The throw is down the line. That was a little bit casual, but I guess you have that kind of ability to be casual when you're up by 9 runs, and you've already made a bunch of great plays during the course of this game. So Asperger does reach base, and Charles Escobar will get another at-bat here. In his first plate appearance, he walked. The Bucs hoping for an epic 9-run rally with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Called a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1 to Escobar. Here's the 0-1. Fastball outside, and it's 1-1. On deck is Campbell. Campbell had an RBI double in his only at-bat, so I'd like to see Campbell maybe get up again. Although if you remember, it was a fly ball to left field that the left fielder kind of misplayed. Really misjudged out there. 2-1 the count. But it still goes down as an RBI double, obviously. That doesn't diminish where he hit the baseball to. Here's the 2-1. Swung and lined in left field for a base hit for Escobar. So, all of a sudden, the Buccaneers have 2 men on with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Campbell coming up to the plate. We just mentioned this when he was on deck, but he is 1 for 1 with an RBI double to left field. Would love nothing more than to maybe get another RBI double right here. Off-speed pitch in there, strike 1. 0-1 the count to Campbell. Oh-1 is the same exact pitch. He moved it a little bit over. First one came inside, and this one came more outside, but another slow off-speed pitch in there for strike 2. The 0-2. Looked like it might have been the same pitch again, maybe just a little bit faster, but misses outside. 1-2 the count. And fastball called strike 3, and that'll do it for the game. And down goes Campbell. And that'll do it for this game. The final score 12-3. And what was actually a pretty long game. Most of our games do not go over the 3-hour mark, and we're at 3:04 right here, at least since the beginning of our broadcast. And so, Bucs they were trailing 2-0 after the first half inning, but came back and tied it up. But then after that, it was really all Top Speed. Top Speed scoring 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. Bucs finally getting 1 in the seventh to make it 6-3 at that point. But then Top Speed with a 1 in the eighth, making it 7-3, and then 5 in the ninth to make it 12-3. And that will do it here from Cal Poly Pomona Scalinos Field. The Buccaneers fall and drop to 5-15 on the season. Meanwhile, Top Speed improves to 22-3, and will head back up the coast to Northern California. I'm sure very happy with the way this weekend has gone. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers will be right back at it again tomorrow at 5 o'clock in a league game against the Pirates here at Cal Poly Pomona. That game will be live on our air on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And then they will be at it again in Long Beach on Tuesday against the Long Beach Legend Red Squad. And that game, once again, at 5 o'clock, will be live on our air. Then on Wednesday, we have the Pirates taking on the Heat. And we're being told that that is going to be a doubleheader. We'll have more on that on the website when we determine if that's true or not. But regardless of if it's one game or a doubleheader, on Wednesday we'll have baseball for you as well. Obviously, we'll have an earlier start if it's a doubleheader at probably 2 as opposed to 5. But that's kind of how the schedule looks like for Inland Valley baseball over the next 4 or 5 days. And then you have the 4th of July, and everybody's going to have a nice vacation, a nice holiday, and we'll have that weekend off until Sunday when the Buccaneers will play a game. Once again, of course, my name is David Soberi on the play-by-play. Thank you for joining us and listening to this broadcast of Buccaneer Baseball, and we'll see you next time, which in this case is tomorrow.